A lot of people talk about pitching in the MLB and some of these young college pitchers that come up, and go to college. Being a pitching coach for the Pittsburgh Panthers, what is it like, being a pitching coach in a school when it really is implemented with baseball? I mean, football.
The great thing for us is it's a sports city, a phenomenal sports city. I don't know if you're too familiar with Pittsburgh in general, but it's they love their sports. They really do. And for us, to be able to play in a conference like the ACC, I don't think it really matters where you're at, to be honest. I mean, we all know it between the ACC and SEC, it's the best of the best. So, you'd be amazed how many kids, when they come to a city like Pittsburgh and what we have to offer, they're not too familiar till they get here. So we really don't have any problems. It's about recruiting the right kid, to be honest with you. Obviously, a lot of our kids are Northeast kids, but, when we went to the ACC, we can expand anywhere in the country because of that.
Being it's a strong pro sports city in particular, do you think that fan base, whether it's the students or whether it's fans from outside the campus, graduates maybe, or just inner city fans, do you see that strong following with your team in addition to the professional sports teams?
We do, for sure. I mean, honestly, I'm a firm believer, no matter where you are, if you win, fans show up. But like I said, our university in general has so much to offer in so many different ways for all of our sports. It is really unique in a certain ways. So we like I said, we're big into all of our sports. And like I said, what this city has to offer, it's tremendous in so many ways.
We are talking to Pittsburgh Panthers pitching coach Jerry Oaks. Now, Jerry, we talked to a lot of coaches this week, and we ask them questions. When you go into recruiting players and you go and talk to their families and speak about your school and the growth of the kid coming to the school and pitching for your school, even playing for your school, what do you do? How do you push or not even just talk to the parents and allegate why they should come and play for your school?
Well, at the end of the day, it's all about the education, and Pittsburgh has one of the best educations in the country. We've been ranked number one, I think, 5 of the last 6 years at a public institution. As you know, most universities, they might have 1 or 2 degrees that they're known for. Here, we're known for numerous degrees we're known for. So that's the most important thing, and like I said, to be able to play in the ACC. So at the end of the day, the kid is opening up so many doors for their career in every aspect. Education, number one, obviously baseball, number two, and we have one of the best life skills department that's kind of, not too many people know about it, but they're ranked number one in the country. So it's to me, it's the best of the best in every avenue you want. You're in a sports city like we just talked about. You're getting one of the best educations. You're playing the best baseball conference in the country, pretty much. And for us, it's a program that's on the rise. They put so much money into our program lately, so it's really exciting time to be a part of our program.
As a growing program in the ACC, which has had some powerhouses in baseball, both Virginia schools, Florida State, we just interviewed a coach at Duke. They're a really growing program right now. How does that prepare you for your players, your younger players, to play elsewhere and also just grow as a whole, as a team?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when you're playing against the best of the best each weekend, obviously your players are going to get better, your team's going to get better, and that's what this league does. I mean, it's a dogfight week in and week out. It goes back to recruiting the right players that compete at a high level, because this league is not for everybody. But like I said, to me, it's what you sign up for. I mean, who doesn't want to play against the best of the best each weekend? And with that being said, they know that, it's why this league has so many draft picks each year, because you're playing against the best players in the country. And it, more than anything, this league prepares you for professional baseball. I like to say it's almost like playing high A, double A baseball. So our kids go prepared, which is, you can't put a price tag on that.
Now, Coach, Do you look for a particular type of pitcher when you're looking to recruit a pitcher? Are you looking for a power pitcher? Are you looking for a pitcher that has spin on the ball? Is there a particular style of pitcher that you look for when you're recruiting?
I'm very big on recruiting athletic pitchers. I think when you recruit an athletic kid, you can get so much out of them in so many ways. When they're not athletic, I do think it's tough. A kid that has tight hips or something like that, it is really tough. But not at the end of the day, I was a hard thrower myself, but we all like those guys. But I want guys that throw strikes, because they're the guys that are going to help us win games, and guys that really know how to compete. I mean, obviously, I'm always looking for a guy that has at least one secondary out pitch, but most importantly, it's guys that can locate a fastball for sure, and guys that, like I said, can really compete at a high level.
We see with young pitchers in Major League Baseball, teams go to innings limits and pitch counts to make sure their arms don't blow out. Do you see that kind of strategy in college baseball, either with your team or teams you play against, especially if your team, like yours, in a Power 5 conference where some of those players are going to get drafted?
I mean, a little bit, but we build our guys up the right way. I mean, it's a process that starts in the fall, that leads into obviously the spring. We're not going to, throw our Friday night guy 120, 30 pitches the first weekend of the season. I mean, it's very rare that he will ever throw that many, but I'll kind of give you an example. I mean, he might throw 110 pitches, but that probably won't be till about the fourth or fifth weekend of the season where like I said, they're built up. So we do it the right way, that we never put them in those situations. Now, I can only speak on our program, but you really do have to build up the arm the right way for sure.
I want to get into some MLB conversation with you, and I know you're a big baseball fan, I'm sure. What are your thoughts with the whole Houston Astros situation, with the cheating and really implementing different video and different electronics that they were using to cheat for baseball? What were your thoughts to that when you heard about that?
I mean, that's kind of a sensitive subject, but I mean, anybody that played the game, let's be honest. I mean, no one's a fan of cheating at all, right? To me, that's I don't know. Like I said, that is a very sensitive subject, but I mean, I think they handled it the right way in some regards. I don't know what the right answer is. I really don't. To me, with the amount of TV and stuff like that, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go about it, but at the end of the day, I think it's wrong in so many ways. I really do. I mean, this game's hard enough as it is, and to guys have advantage like that. I mean, think about it. Somebody else could have a ring on their finger. I mean, and that's what you play for. So I think it's wrong in so many ways.
Two parts here. One, do you think this is something that is going on in college baseball? And two, if you were a manager in that situation where you think somebody is stealing signs with technology from you, how would you adjust for your team?
Well, there's a lot of ways, I mean, obviously we deal with it because our games are on TV all the time. So, we have to have different sets of signs. I mean, we have a ton of signs here because of that reason in particular. So you prepare for it. You really do, and the other side of it is if they're getting our signs in different ways, as far as a pitcher tipping them or something like that, or our catcher's giving the same signing each time when a man's on second base, that's our fault. You know what I mean? I mean, everyone's obviously always trying to find an edge to help their team win. But you as a coach have to prepare the right way for that. So that goes hand in hand, if that makes sense.
Coach, I look at baseball and you look at guys like Mike Trout and Garrett Cole and all the talent that's out there. When you look at a particular player, when you're watching these great players play, like Mike Trout, is there a particular player that you can, characterize or look at him and compare him to from the olden days, from like the 60s, the 70s, or the 80s? Because he's a fantastic player. Do you see him? Could you compare him to like a Mickey Mantle or a Lou Gehrig or one of those players?
Yeah, For sure. You know what I mean? Obviously, I can't really compare to guys back in that day and age because
Hmm.
I really never seen them in person, you
Hmm.
know. But guys that you're seeing this day and age, 100%, you know, there'd be guys that I take notes on that, hey, he reminds me of Elvis Andrews, the shortstop, or, you know, Justin Verlander on the mound. You know, a lot of similarities to certain players for sure. Yeah.
In terms of young pitchers, we've seen a lot of arm injuries, Tommy John surgeries at such a young age now. What do you think are the biggest factors into why there are so many of those, more than we've ever seen?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question, you know, and everyone asks that a lot. Um, the biggest thing that I see in kids is kids that don't have routines. To be honest with you, you know, I mean, there's numerous kids that you're in a recruiting process, and you know they'll say, "Coach, yeah, I'm throwing a bullpen on Monday," and then they don't pick up a ball till Friday or Saturday. You know, it's a process, but you know it's so crucial for them to have a routine and how they're building their arm up. I can't tell you the amount of guys that they'll throw for 2 weeks and then they're getting on the mound right away. You know, I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And now you have weighted balls and stuff along those lines that it's not for everybody. You know, and kids need to realize that you have to do what works for you as an individual. You know, it's very easily to watch a video on Mike Trout or Derek Jeter and guys like that and say, okay, now I'm going to go do that. Well, it doesn't work that way. You know, you gotta do what fits your role in every aspect of your training, whether that's lifting, throwing, fielding, hitting. But specifically throwing wise, I know we're all trying to find that answer, but a lot of it goes into mechanics too. You know, I mean, I can't tell you how many kids that, you know, in June they're going to this pitching coach, and in July they're going to this pitching coach, and in August it's another different. You know what I mean? So now they have three different voices and three different mechanics, and obviously that doesn't help matters.
Jerry, there's a lot of players that I look up to, and Derek Jeter's one of them over the years, and Alex Rodriguez. I want to get into the way the league, has, changed completely from the 90s to now. Is there a particular style of game? I know you look at the home run ball, everybody wants to see power and they want to see power pitching. Is there a particular way that you teach your players and train your players to grow when they have the opportunity to get drafted and go play in the MLB?
Not really, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? Like I said, each kid, on my pitching staff is different. I'm trying to get the best out, obviously, out of each kid. What makes them tick? But like I said, we're trying to get better 1% each day. You know, and obviously each year to make them better and better. To hopefully, one day they get their name called. I mean, obviously we all know that that's their dream. You know, but. Um, it's also a lot more to this. You know, it's about preparing them for real life at this stage of their career. You know, it's not just about baseball, but like I said, you're trying to build off each kid specific needs that's going to make them better day in and day out for sure.
One of the changes they have been trying to make is improving pace of play, and one of those things that maybe directly correlates to you as a pitching coach is reducing the mound visits to 3 per game, 30 seconds. If you were in that situation, would you be in favor of that as a coach? Do you think it helps, or would you, as a pitching coach, still want to talk in full to your pitcher?
Um, it doesn't really matter to me, to be honest. Obviously I'm taking a mountain visit when I really need to take a mountain visit, but it's plenty in my eyes. You know what I mean? There's obviously they're trying to speed the game up, and I like that for sure. Some of these games can get really long, but at the same time, there's other reasons why those games are long too. I think we're just trying to find little things here and there to obviously help us, move the game along.
Coach, what is your thoughts to this electronic umpire that they're trying to implement into the MLB? Do you think that this is going to work? Do you think this is going to speed up the game, or do you think this is going to hurt the game?
Me personally, I'll be honest, I don't like it at all. I mean, I always look at this game's been around for 100 some years, and now we're going to try to change it and change it dramatically. I'm not a fan. Obviously, I haven't done enough research on it to really tell you the ins and outs of it, but I don't like it. I really don't.